Hey, good morning, everyone. It is late January, and the UC basketball team is in the heart of Big 12 play. Welcome into Bearcats All Access. I'm your host, Caleb No. On this week's edition, we sit down with UC men's basketball coach Wes Miller and one of his players. We'll also check in with the women's team, and we'll hear from one of the best storytellers on campus. Bearcats All Access starts right now.
Bearcats All Access, sponsored by All Good Home Improvements.
Well, Coach, after the loss to Texas Tech earlier this week, you said in that game the defense just didn't show up. And look, your all's defense is one that's shown the ability to play well about just about anybody this year. What was the difference that night?
You know, I thought we were late to the ball. Loose balls, defensive rebounds, maybe a step late, defeating screens or getting to coverages, closing out the shooters. And, you know, that was very disappointing. Offensively, and they're a very good defensive team as well. I thought there were some strong positives up until the last 3 minutes of the game, but some real positives offensively throughout the course of the game that carrying things over that we've been working on in practice. So I think there were some positives there, but just didn't defend the way we have to defend against a very, very good, actually the #1 ranked offensive team in our league in Texas Tech.
Prior to that, though, back-to-back wins in the conference. What did you like about that two-game stretch that you feel like you can build upon?
Just kind of getting back in the winning column, finding a way to win games, pushing out leads in the second half at times that, you felt you could have pushed out even further, but, making plays down the stretch to win games, I thought was really important for our team's mentality after going through a really rough start to league play.
Okay, tonight, the start of another trip out west, game against BYU. What is it about BYU that impresses you or that you feel might be a challenge?
Well, they were very, very skilled, very dynamic offensive team. They were that a year ago. They're that again, even with some new and familiar faces and a new coaching staff. But I think what gets lost when you watch them is they're not just a team that runs good offense and shoots the basketball. They play with toughness. They do a good job attacking you off the bounce when you extend to the three-point line. They have an interior presence with multiple guys in their front court. And then they're tougher than I think people realize on the defensive end and on the backboards. Like everybody in our league, there's no team in this league that's not a great basketball team, and BYU's no different.
You mentioned some of the improvements on the offensive side of the ball this past week in that game against Texas Tech. What needs to happen for the Bearcats down the stretch for you guys to be as successful as you feel like you can be and should be?
First off, we got to play with confidence. Guys, our players need to feel confident and aggressive, feel free to go out there and make mistakes. I think, we went through a stretch where we looked tentative offensively, which I think surprised us, surprised everybody. But they need to play with confidence and freedom and get back to doing the things that we know that they can do. I think we're trending the right way there. I think the pace that we play with really improves that. Getting we have a lot of athleticism and a lot of talent. Getting that in the open floor is very impactful and improves the quality of the shot if it's consistent. And then when we do execute, all 5 guys being on the same page, being connected, and executing the things that we value offensively. Finally, we have to get back to rebounding the basketball on the offensive board. That's got to be a staple of this team, and at times we've been really good there, and we've gotten away from that here recently.
Well, an unforgettable Saturday night for the UC women's basketball team. Down by 12, they came back to win and got a career performance from one key player. Next on Bearcats All Access, we relive that unforgettable performance.
Keys to Success, sponsored by Columbia Hyundai and Genesis of Montgomery.
Well, the UC women's basketball team had an unforgettable Saturday night. They rallied from 12 points down to beat Colorado 65-59 on the shoulders of a 27-point performance from Tanea Hilton. That's a career high. She scored 18 points in the fourth quarter alone, and that's a Colorado team that went to the Sweet 16 last year before losing to Caitlin Clark's Iowa team. Let's relive that dramatic comeback win from here inside Fifth Third Arena.
Welcome to Cincinnati, Ohio, where we bring you the nightcap of a doubleheader inside Fifth Third Arena. Just a couple hours after Cincinnati played Arizona State, the Bearcat women take on Colorado.
Rebounding and scoring at the rim is key for both teams, and that's why they're sitting just about even in their conference standings. The difference is going to be how they do that.
For the Buffaloes, they beat a top 25 West Virginia team in Boulder. Most recently, they're coming off a double-digit loss. Hilton unchanged the entire year as Hilton takes it end-to-end with the layup.
Tanea Hilton drives straight to the basket.
Dew is into the game for the Buffaloes, passes it up to Foreman, and she connects. Struggle with the pressure here, and they turn it over. Hilton picks up the loose ball, banked it in with the foul. Much-needed bucket for Cincinnati. No reset of the shot clock, never hit the rim. 3 to go. Mann fires and hits. Another one finds the bottom for Mann. I feel like a lot happened in that first quarter, AB. A bunch of turnovers, Colorado the big lead. Cincinnati ended up coming back. Now the Buffaloes lead it by 2. Sanders' strong drive is blocked by Bird, who just came into the game for the Bearcats. The spin and the finish.
Well, Maya Bird coming in strong.
Trouble there for Garzone. Adam Masagayo rips it through on Antiba. And an easy lay-in. That's it for the first half. Colorado up 26-21.
Colorado got off to a quick start and finishes the first half on an 8-0 run.
Now Cincinnati has some work to do in the second half. Hilton, crafty finish.
Well, nice floater for Tanea Hilton. She's coming alive for Jillian Hayes, making the big moment now.
No look at the 3 for Mann. She'll hop inside. Fall away. Tough shot.
Tough indeed. Chloe Mann, the freshman, now in double figure scoring. 8 minutes and 38 seconds of play action.
Hilton gets it back. The lay-in with another foul. A career high in dramatic fashion for Tanea Hilton.
Just under a minute 30, another turnover by Colorado.
Hilton right to the cup. With another foul and the lay-in. What a quarter for Hilton. Putting the team on her back. Arizona off the mark. And Cincinnati another come-from-behind victory. 65-59 against Colorado.
Well, Allianz Ndiba greeted at a half court by her contingent of Delaney Snyder, Jillian Hayes, and Ramaya Bird, the front line of Cincinnati going in.
Hey, tremendous job. Way to stick together. That was a great win. And we all did it, all of us together. You stay locked in like that, we're going to have a whole lot of fun.
Well, a 6'11" sophomore on UC's basketball team has made his impact felt in Big 12 play. Next on Bearcats All Access, we sit down with Arrington Page.
Bearcats All Access. Sponsored by All Good Home Improvements.
UC basketball player Arrington Page has shown his skill set and potential all season long, but specifically in Big 12 play, where he scored 9 points each against Kansas and Texas Tech in 24 minutes combined. The 6'11" sophomore has also knocked down a couple threes. He sits down now with sports anchor Marshall Kramsky to discuss his path to UC and more.
So you come to Cincinnati. Why?
I had a good relationship with Coach West and the other coaches on the staff. Even though it didn't probably go the way it should have the first time around, I feel like good things come in a circle. So, you know, I eventually made the right decision to come here.
Well, let's talk about that if you don't mind. So you go to USC, and then Coach Wes Miller said, you know, it broke his heart when you didn't come here.
Yeah.
He entered the portal. And then Associate Head Coach Chad Dollar said to you, now correct me if I'm quoting this, are you coming here or not? Because we can't go through this again. Something like that, right? What was that Zoom call like for you?
It was very intense. Just if you know, like Coach Wes's, just his demeanor about things is very intense, very intentional. So we were just having a conversation, and then Coach Dollar was like, hold on, Coach. Is he coming here or are you not coming here? And then I was like, you know what, Coach? I'm coming, Coach. And I told him right then that I was committing.
Did you know going into that call that you were going to be coming to Cincinnati?
I was on the ledge. He just pushed me off, so.
And are you happy with that decision?
Yeah, I'm happy with it, for sure. Just always a blessing to be a part of a, organization and coaching staff that believe in me and things of that nature.
What are the things that really stood out to you now that you are a Bearcat, you're here? What's something that you didn't expect to happen that did?
The fans. When I went to USC, it's like we're in the middle of everything, so it's kind of hard to identify who's your fans, like, who messes with you. But UC, it's no mistakes. Like, they're there every night, making noise after the game.
What's your favorite fan moment you've had at UC?
Ooh, favorite fan moment. Oh, this happened the other day. So the other day I was trying to, because we had that snowstorm the other week, and I was trying to, just get some sandwich meat, stuff so I could eat without, any DoorDash or anything like that. And I'm just walking through. He was like, 22? Somebody just a random aisle, 22? And he came and dapped me up. He was like, keep doing what you're doing. And I was like, wow, that's love. Just know, what you're doing is being acknowledged. And so that was always just great.
That had to be such a cool moment to be recognized in the grocery store. Did you think back of, as a little kid, I'm sure you dreamed of stuff like that.
Yeah, just have people that look up to you.
How do you handle that?
I'd probably just say it's more of a blessing to be able to inspire others, even if you don't know you're inspiring others. So I try to just keep that on my shoulder, keep that in my head, and how I make every decision.
Who was your biggest inspiration?
My big brother. He's had a lot of adversity in his life, and he keeps fighting, and I respect that a lot. There's times in your life where you don't see a way out until you keep pushing forward, and then you see the light.
So family is important to you.
Yeah.
What have you learned from your parents?
A lot. I don't know, they just keep pouring into me, and I appreciate them for that, because I know everybody doesn't have that, and they're at every game, so I don't know, it's a nice support system, and it keeps me going, even when sometimes I don't feel like going. I don't know, I'm just blessed, really, honestly.
Well, he was a national champion in college, then spent 8 years on the PGA Tour. Now he's one of the best storytellers in the UC athletics department. Up next on Bearcats All Access, hear from Doug Martin, UC's head golf coach. Well, the head coach of the UC golf program, Doug Martin, has some of the best stories to tell of anybody in the athletics department. He was a national champion in college and then went on to spend 8 years on the PGA Tour. He's now the longest tenured head coach on the UC campus at 16 years and running. Doug Martin sat down with Dan Horde on a recent episode of the Let's Reign podcast to discuss the rise of the Bearcats program and some of the experiences he had with the game's greats.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome back to the Let's Reign podcast, revealing conversations with UC players, coaches, and administrators. I'm your host, Dan Horde. I'm joined on this episode by the head golf coach at the University of Cincinnati in his 16th year in that role, Doug Martin. From there was on to the PGA Tour for 8 years. You had 9 top 10 finishes, came that close to winning a tournament, a 5-hole playoff against Vijay Singh. What were your personal highlights of your years on the PGA Tour?
My dad told me when I was young, in playing junior golf and collegiate golf, he goes, it's not going to be the tournaments or the finishes that you have, it's going to be the people you met along the way. And couldn't be a more truer statement. The Curtis Stranges, the Jay Haas's, the Ernie Els, the Dudley Harts, the Mike, just the Davis Loves, Justin, the group of guys that I hung around with and still am in contact with. We send Christmas cards and do things. So those relationships were just incredible. The experience of playing golf, it's almost fantasy. You go from site to site, typically great weather, to a golf course that's in the best condition it's going to be in that week for the whole year. And it just was, the experience was incredible. I loved the challenge of the competition. I think probably maybe as a player caught off guard as to how great these players were. And that was kind of, my first year I struggled with that a little bit, trying to understand the things that I needed to do to be one of those guys. As I continued on and played, I figured it out. My only disappointment was obviously having to quit playing with a back injury, which was really difficult to handle, because in my early 30s I really understood how to play out there, how to make a cut, how to get into contention. That's all a process. It's like you go out there as a rookie and it's like you are thrown to piranhas. And it's like, it was hard. And I had to figure it out. And fortunately, I figured it out. But, the injury really stunted my growth as a player. And I just felt that if I couldn't do this at 100%, then I can't do it. I need to be with my family. So that's really what I ultimately chose.
Was the back injury just from the repetitive motion of the golf swing, or was it a specific event?
It was pretty much repetitive. It was pretty much hereditary. My mom's had some back issues, and it's just one of those situations to where I did the whole deal. I didn't really want to get cut on. I wanted to try to rehab. Spent some time with the Browns medical staff up there, the Cleveland Clinic. I did everything I possibly could to try to get right. When I came back after rehab and I wasn't 100%, I just you can't play out here without a loaded gun. And I just didn't have it.
We are very fortunate to have you here. Cincinnati has a tremendous golf coach, and I've enjoyed our interactions over the years. Thanks for the time today.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it, and I love it here. This is a great place, and I think the future is extremely bright. I think we'll all look back in 10, 15 years down the road and say this Big 12 deal was a game changer for this university and department.
Your playoff finish against Vijay Singh, to get into that playoff, you had to have a tremendous run down the stretch to pull even and to qualify for that playoff. Is that one of those moments that carries with you where okay, when the chips were down, I delivered?
It was a situation to where I'd really played 68 great holes, and Westchester Country Club is a really hard golf course, very much set up in prep for the U.S. Open, long, rough, fast, firm greens. Really kind of played to the way I played the game. I hit a lot of fairways, I hit a lot of greens. So, I knew that I think Ernie Els, Vijay Singh were in the last group behind us, and Vijay made birdie to Todd made about a 20-footer to make birdie to send it to a playoff. We had a great 5-hole playoff. I had chances on the first and the second playoff hole to win. I extended it on the fourth playoff hole, making about a 12-footer for par, and then he rolled in about a 20-footer for birdie on the fifth playoff hole. But unbelievable experience. Unbelievable experience.
Thanks so much for checking out this edition of the Let's Rain podcast, and don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe.
Well, much like Seamus Lukosius on the hardwood, UC golfer Connor McNeely transferred here to Cincinnati from Butler and had early success with the Bearcats. Last year, Connor had the lowest stroke average on the team, and this year already has a second-place finish under his belt. Connor walked Coldstream with Harrison Sims on this week's edition of Talk Birdie to Me, presented by West Banco.
What's up, Bearcats? Welcome back to another episode of Talk Birdie to Me, brought to you by West Banco Bank. I'm Harrison Sims, your host. I'm here with my good friend, Connor McNeely.
How's it going?
He's a junior from Noblesville, Indiana, and today we are here on hole 4 at Coldstream Country Club. Connor, talk to us a little bit about this hole.
Pretty lengthy par 5. I hit a good drive out here. I have 245 coming in. You want to favor the right side because it's a little bit of a dog leg left, but see what happens.
Trying to make a birdie.
Try to make a birdie.
Show us. So obviously that was a good shot.
Yeah.
When did you start playing golf?
I started when I was 3.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
played golf for a very long time.
Yeah.
That means you've had a lot of good shots.
Yeah.
A lot of bad shots.
A lot of bad shots.
We need 2 stories here. The best shot you've ever hit in your life and the worst shot you've ever hit in your life.
Most recently, the best shot I've hit was at Duke. It was coming down to the 18th hole. I did not hit a very good drive, clipped a tree 7 feet and made birdie to get solo second.
Wow,
so that was
clutch.
Yeah, that was a great shot.
Love that.
And then the worst shot I've hit, I just came out of surgery the other day on last Monday and felt ready to play. I was not ready to play. Topped my first 2 tee shots with a 4-iron, and it was downhill from there.
All right, now I have more of a hot topic. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I think it's its own category.
And give me reasons why, please, because I might have.
I mean, the bun's connecting. It's connected.
Okay.
A burger, it's 2 separate buns. You know what I mean?
Is it a taco? Would you say that? Would you say?
No, it can't be a taco. A taco.
But that's what a taco. I mean, look at it.
Yeah, but a taco. Come on, a taco's.
What's been your experience like so far with the program, the team, and what are you looking forward to finish out your junior year in the spring?
Yeah, I mean, the program's treated me unbelievably. I mean, guys on the team, for one, can't ask for a better group of guys.
Good group.
It's a great group. I mean, the amenities that we have, too, it's unbelievable. Coldstream's great. Our indoor practice facility is amazing. I mean, you're treated so special at UC.
Thanks, and we'll see you next time on Talk Birdie to Me.
Well, that does it for this week's edition of Bearcats All Access. The UC men's basketball team is on the road way out west tonight against BYU, and then they continue that road trip out west Tuesday night against Utah. The UC women's basketball team also out west. They will face Arizona State tonight. You can watch Bearcats All Access right here on WCPO 9 every Saturday morning at 11:30. Until next time, I'm Caleb No. Have a great week, everyone.